That should make us live.
All right.
Yeah, I was
I
hoping to catch you in the middle of shouting and screaming at the game you were playing, but you finished up right beforehand.
ah
Right before the 9.
huh. Says you motherfucker.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, a few seconds earlier, and you guys would have got, uh, got my buddy here going into gamer rage. Needless to say,
Maybe.
if our title is any indication, if any of you guys are watching this on replay and you've seen an ad, we are definitely not getting money from that.
Well, the new YouTube terms of service are very special.
Yes, they are. I I mean, yeah, they got the usual okay facial recognition thing. It's like, oh, what this? What is this? What have we here? YouTube's right to monetize. YouTube has the right to monetize all contexts on the platform, and ads may appear on videos from channels not in the YouTube Partner Program. So, in short, even if we haven't monetized this channel or any other channel that we control, YouTube will monetize it anyways, and then just keep the profits from it. So
I
yeah,
think
we
I
get
think
we get to do the work, and they get to keep the money.
I think that's BS in my opinion for one reason is mostly because look, what if I'm making my channel for educational purposes? Strictly educational. You know, like
Oh yeah.
no ad not meant to be seen by anyone else. You know? Like fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you could have like. I mean, there are reasons why some YouTubers don't put ads on their videos, even though they qualify for monetization. Sometimes the ads just ruin the flow of the video,
Well,
and sometimes
it's
the
like
ads will contradict or even like go against what the YouTuber believes in or wants to present.
yeah, basically.
I mean, we've seen that happen before. I mean, there's actually a funny video I've seen where
Mhm.
I forgot what game it was, but there was an advertisement for a video game just before the video. Oh, and then as soon as the video starts, the game reviewer just starts out by saying that game fucking sucks. It's like wow, badly placed ad.
Yeah, no. A lot of a good example. I remember when God, a lot of people gave her shit for this back in the day, but I remember when Obscurus Lupa like put in so many ads into her video when they were on like fucking Blip.
Yeah.
It was just kind of annoying and made just the video hard to watch. I understand why she was doing it to get the money, but on some level, like if you don't want to actually monetize your video, you should actually have that choice. You should. What are all the commie channels are gonna do?
I know. Like, wow, you're contributing to capitalism whether you want to or not.
Jokes aside, I feel like you should have the choice
Yeah.
on whether your videos should have or not have ads. Especially like if it's like personal stuff. Then again, there's a reason why I run ad block.
Oh yeah.
I hate saying that, but that's pretty much the primary reason. One of the reasons why I'm also looking to go into Patreon should I ever get all my content set up well.
Okay, to be fair, Mein Kaiser, Internet Historian's advertisement for Raid Shadow Legends is amazing.
Wait, we actually have people chatting on our videos?
Yeah.
Shit. I gotta look at this. Joking aside about Raid Shadow Legends, last night we were actually hanging out at my place, and my friend William of the People almost downloaded Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, all right. Well, that sounds about right for Will. But, yeah, a
To
whole
be
raid.
fair, he couldn't. Well, you see, he couldn't actually play it though. He didn't have a good enough phone.
Yeah, maybe we should put that on the advertisement for Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends, the hot mobile game that you will never play because your phone isn't good enough.
Okay, as I've said this,
And then all of a sudden
I
you see a Sprint
so
cell phone
I
advertisement after that.
so I put this on my Twitter, and I actually I actually had several friends comment, Twitter friends or mutuals as we call them in business, commented as that yes, I should have stopped Will, but thankfully, by the time I could have done something, he found out he couldn't get it. But as according to people, there's not even things you want to fuck in that game. So why do you want to play it? And this is actually a good reason on that level. It's basically a gacha game, and gacha relies on having attractive character designs.
Yeah,
I mean, bullshit animated. Look, we might end up in the business of one day being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends because I've heard about how much well they pay. So I'm not. Let's just keep this little bit of the stream private for the most part. I doubt
yeah,
it'll ever
private
happen, but you
wink.
never know. I'm I'm admitting to myself I'm a bit of a whore now.
By that time, I mean something else would have come out. Like,
I
well,
think you never know. Raid could still be kicking. They have enough money to pay YouTubers a stupid amount. Joking aside, but
wait a bit. Did Boogie really monetize the going to kill himself video or kill himself ad?
I could see that. That seems like a boogie thing to do. Also, do we know who Kaiser is? Because I'm like, it's
I've
either one of
never I've never heard of him, but I'm willing to talk to him. Anyone and everyone is free to interact with this stream.
it's just usually like one of our friends, so I'm just wondering who the fuck. But I'm sure we'll figure out in a bit. Maybe it's a Matt or David. Maybe not David, but we'll see. I'm just wondering, man. You never know.
Oh jeez.
Like I said, I wouldn't mind just like knowing which of our friends is listening into this shit, so I can thank them later. But besides that,
But yeah,
and
but yeah, thing is, ads are getting pretty long already on YouTube. I mean, I remember when ads used to be like a couple seconds to maybe even 1 minute. Now they're like 5 minutes to even like 30 minutes. I've seen ads that are long enough to fill in a cartoon series.
dude, I saw one ad that was an hour and 20, like a full movie.
Yeah. And there's like several of them front loaded on the beginnings of live streams nowadays.
Actually, what's very devious is if you have your phone and you're just like listening to shit. And let's say you're just listening to video and you're not even watching the fucking video. You'll
Hmm.
suddenly hear like something, and then it's like, oh fuck, there's an ad in this video. What the fuck am I going to do?
Oh, that gets really annoying if you're just listening to music channels.
Well, it's not even just that. Like, if the guy also has a similar enough voice, sometimes it's like, wait, what the fuck is am I watching? No, I'm not actually watching the video anymore. I'm watching this asshole. I'm gonna call him this asshole no matter what ads you do. But to be fair, I tend to be one of those people who tend to troll. I have trolled very much.
Yeah, I haven't seen hour
I don't
long
like it.
ads yet, but I think they're getting there. But I think I have seen at one point a 26-minute long ad.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. Honestly, the ads that annoy me the most are like those weight loss ones where it's like, let me tell you about the secret, the secret, the secret. I'm like, I know you're just gonna want me to pay for some bullshit, and
Or the money making ads. The
basically,
secret to making money. Just watch this tutorial. Or
uh,
skip it. It's like, yeah, I'm skipping it.
what about this guy who's like, let me show you my car. Let me show you my
Uh
car. I like the troll ads whenever they appear. Those can be fun at least. Um, have you actually? You should really look up. I would actually recommend. I would actually recommend looking up the Monkey Jones reactor story, where he goes over what reactor did to grade A under A. That one's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah. And then there are the cell phone game ads, which are, well, not the Raid Shadow Legend ones, the really really weird ones.
Are you talking about the one with like the key where it's like you unlock stuff and blah blah blah?
I'm thinking about the
So,
ones that are kind of like Mafia Wars, where it's like they show you what they present an animation that as gameplay, and it's so not what the game is.
oh no, like mobile game ads do that all the time.
Although Mafia Wars is kind of entertaining because they start the whole "this is how Mafia works" meme.
Well, my favorite bit is actually I remember like a long time ago. Like I said, on Facebook there were like these mobile game ads, and it would often show like it would be like one of those key games. Basically, you got to get the keys out in the right order to get the success. And none of the games are actually work like that. What the games are often like totally different genres than what you actually
Oh
see.
yeah, it's a different genre than it would advertise. Although to be fair, they have that in there as a mini game, a very fucking rare mini game, but it's a mini game.
My favorite bit is actually the game that says, "Hey, you know that There's actually this one that actually said, "Hey, you know that game you see in all the mobile ads? We're actually it."
Oh yes, and then
That's
actually, I think my personal favorite right now is whenever a game is blatantly stealing gameplay footage from other games. I've seen like Age of Empires footage and a lot of these Rise of Empires ads or whatever it is. It's almost like they're counting on viewers just being too young to remember what Age of Empires was.
well, fair enough, I guess. Um, but anyway,
But yeah, this is essentially YouTube is gonna monetize smaller creators whether they want to or not, and we all know why they're doing it. It's because it's expensive to run YouTube, so they gotta figure out how to make money by
well,
any means necessary. It also makes the adpocalypse thing total bullshit.
we are also in the COVID times.
Yeah,
COVID, COVID, COVID.
yeah. So it's like
Whoa.
they can't use the "hey advertisers are pulling out" excuse anymore because well, they're putting it onto the very videos that they wouldn't have advertised in the first place.
Yeah, I do remember the Photon Man cheat. Um, but now, like right now, I'm just not. But it is what it is with like YouTube and stuff. They're gonna do whatever they do, and we're just gonna have to deal with it, like the babies we are.
Oh yeah, I remember all the cheats for that game. The photon man, the car, the baby with a shotgun for some reason,
Yeah. But
and
in
the monkey
other
head.
in other less uh in other less stupid YouTube
But
thing.
but yeah, all right. In other news, we're gonna go for something a bit lighter, just to lighten the mood. So let's go off with
Well,
where was it?
uh, I
Scientists. Oh, scientists are using human genes to make monkey brains bigger. Yes, this is apparently a thing now.
okay. This is a very weird coincidence today for myself.
Really, what did you do with monkeys?
Okay, so I actually had to talk about um. So I was talking online in my Discord channel with other people, not like my servers, other server, and this guy we were talking about, like, I was basically, he's like, man, why do you think like if it's gorilla, it's from the Silver Age? So back in the Silver Age comics, they had a strange obsession with gorillas. Now, for some reason, Gorillas sold a lot of comics back in the 60s and 50s, to the point where DC would have at least one Gorilla a month per in like its comics. So, for like a good decade or so, maybe a couple, there's one Gorilla comic per month from DC. And it gets kind of insane because do you know Batman has a crime boss ape?
Oh, great.
Yes. There's also stuff like the yeah. So this came from like we were looking up the character of the Ultra Humanite, who I assume became a gorilla sometime in the 60s because that would be a Silver Age thing. But no, he actually became a gorilla in the 80s. And I was like, what? Because also in the 60s there was Gorilla Grodd, Gorilla City, Angel and the Ape, Titano. There's a
Uh,
lot.
yeah, it's just holy shit, guys. And that's a well, it wouldn't be an Exalted Scarf stream if we didn't dip into comics.
Look, man, I actually do have like a couple comic book shit that is interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
For
it
one,
is.
look, man, I like talking about weird Silver Age gorillas.
Yeah, but this is something that's I think is actually a thing that's actually happening. And yeah, like what you said, Kaiser, haven't these guys seen Planet of the Apes or any other movie involving chimps or
To be
monkeys getting
fair,
experimented on?
to
We could
be
have,
fair, one of the problems, to be fair, we don't know what actually will happen with the monkeys with bigger brains. They could develop like weird mutations or possibly develop some strange forms of schizophrenia.
yeah, they even have a name for these things. They call it transgenic non-human primates. Already, this is sounding like a sci-fi movie.
Um, well, yeah, like, look, we're gonna make the monkey smarter, or maybe we'll finally have a monkey who can make the complete works of Shakespeare at long last. That monkey and that typewriter will make Shakespeare.
Douglas Adams predicted this. It was the worst of times. It was the blurst of times. You
Yeah.
nincompoop. But yeah, sooner or later, we're just gonna get an audio log that's kind of like this.
Ever since we reached Tau Ceti, the lab
Don't
monkeys have
worry.
been acting
I
strangely.
believe in our
Nurse
new
Lester picked
monkey
one out of the case to be brought in
overlords.
for vivisection. The
Maybe.
rest of them, I mean the entire group, stood up on their legs and
You
howled.
know?
This wasn't
I
just a
mean,
random
it
display.
could. I
It was a
mean, the
protest.
monkey, like, our monkey overlords will soon take us over and we'll just have to fight against them. But
Yeah,
thankfully,
but yeah,
they don't
this
know
is like
how to.
this has got to be something out of System Shock 2 with the Psy monkeys, which
Oh, God.
which were one of the scariest enemies in the game for me. It's like every time I
Yeah.
hear, I freak out because it's like, oh crap, something's gonna start shooting Psy blasts at me from around the corner in a dark hallway while being tiny as fuck, so I couldn't even see them. It's gonna be annoying. And somewhere out there is like Spoonie's just screaming his head off in terror because he still remembers the game Ripper.
Oh, God. I can only imagine. Poor Spoonie. He's probably gone. You know something? I'm going to look at his Twitter right now. I have it up.
Oh. Okay. Wellness check on Spoonie time.
Well, the last time he posted was on November 20th.
Oh.
Um,
Oh.
he's posting about Elite Dangerous, Lavos from Chrono Trigger, and things are bad right now, and I don't know if they'll get any better. It's on the 18th. So, about normal for Spoonie at this point.
Yeah.
I just figured I'd check on him. Look, I
Hang in there, Spoonie. I mean,
look
get
if
it
he
back
ever gets
together.
better.
Yeah,
Maybe honestly, I wonder if Razor Fist actually is still. So one of my favorite things is I follow both Razor Fist and Spoonie, and sometimes you'll see Razor Fist on Spoonie's chats being like, "Hey, dude, please come back. You're so good," and I'm like, "Wow." And Spoonie posts like the most left wing ass tweets ever, which is fine. I'm left wing myself, but I just find it so funny. It's like, man, you're the Spoonie fanboy, Razor. You're the one who keeps the light of all things.
yeah. Of all things, which which is a credit to Razorfist's character. He does not judge people based off of their politics all the time.
Uh, yeah, that's fair. Razorfist can be a bit of a lolcow at times, though I will admit. But you know, I
I mean, he'll look past somebody's politics. I mean, if he sees enough good in someone,
I
and
just
he says it multiple times. I mean, he'll usually start with, "It's like I wouldn't wipe my ass with his politics," but yeah, he's pretty good. But yeah,
it's just I feel is still you Twitter and hasn't posted today. And if he doesn't post another day, I'll just start suspecting. Oh god, I can't even joke about that. Ugh,
yeah. Let's not.
Jesus, I really hope. Like, I really
Yeah,
feel.
I suspect the monkeys have gotten him.
Well, fucking monkeys taking our jobs and our perspectives and our classical literature from us. Next, they're
Yeah,
going to be
and our psi powers.
God. Next, they're going to be taking our Gundams, and then what will we have? Nothing.
Yeah, I know, right? Holy shit.
Actually, in the UC timeline, there was a Zaku piloted by a monkey, but there wasn't a Gundam piloted by a monkey. So if we keep them as Zaku's, we might have the advantage. That makes total sense if
Yeah,
you're into Gundam.
man, these monkeys are everywhere.
Look, man, fucking monkeys.
Fucking hell.
Well,
But yeah,
no, they might take our sex bots one day. Those sex bots will betray us next, and maybe they'll team up with the monkeys.
uh, and then Robin Williams' sex with a gorilla routine would not be just a stand-up comedy skit anymore.
We'll have monkey families, monkey people, and monkey men. Like Monkey Man from Hey Arnold, who is a character that exists. I should know. I watched Hey Arnold. Sorry, Kaiser. Your sex bot is the next one to go. Look, look. Look. At first, it's gonna be the cats and the Roombas, then the monkeys, then the sex bots.
Well, think about it. Chimps do rhyme with simps, so chimps would be the bigger simps right now. So yeah, they're
Your
probably gotta take all the e-thoughts too.
Sim Chimp. Oh God, that should just be a character to create the Sim Chimp.
Dude,
Hey,
that'll be a meme. That should be a meme. It's like, or as like, it'll be like a general insult people call each other when they are simping too hard. You simp chimp.
God, your God, our Sim Chimps will rule us all.
But
All the Sim Chimps. Next, there will be
I
no.
hate saying that, but
Next, the Sim Chimps will eat us, and I don't know. Like, I'm sure I'll come up with something. I make comics, I. Sure, iDubbbz is a Sim Chimp. Maybe.
yeah, iDubbbz.
We'll call- God, I shouldn't really. whatever his girlfriend does, and if he's okay with it, that should just be fine. But I'll say this.
Actually, I'm not even sure if that's simping. Does it cross a line into cuckery?
I don't know on some level. Like, honestly, my issue is that I personally would. My whole moral stance is I would not let my girlfriend have like a look. I'd be like, honey, please get a job where you don't have to show your nudies. Because here's the thing: I'm just gonna be honest, honey. That's a declining. That's a declining thing. Like, I hate being that jerk, but unless you only have an audience for so long, you might as well actually work on developing skills that will get you paid at real jobs.
Yeah.
I hate being that dude. Unless you really want to be like, fuck yeah, sex work.
Oh no,
And
I mean, I have thought of creating an alternate persona of myself where I'm actually where called the pimp scarf, where I'm actually running a whole gang of ethos.
that is weirdly specific and a little disturbing by your standards, but okay, fair enough.
Well, the idea
Um,
would be that I would be playing a video game on Twitch. It's like all these attractive women, they would be engaging with the chat with their webcams, pretending to be me playing the game.
there are so many levels of how much did you put thought into this, man?
Well, I started thinking about this ever since the whole ethos thing came up. So I
Oh,
started
right.
taking over all of Twitch. It's like, okay, if I can't if I can't get big on Twitch just playing video games, if I have to be an ethos, then I am going to hire me a bunch of ethos to actually pretend to be me while I'm kicking ass playing games. You gotta change with the market here, guys. And I think I struck my co-host dumb at that point. Still there, pal?
Twitch identities to get. We're on multiple levels of wrong here. We started with brain monkeys, and now we're here.
Yeah,
What
now
is
we're didn't let you see dream stuff. Yeah.
Don't let your meme dream be dreams, Scarfy. Don't don't let your dreams.
yeah, but now the market's changed again.
Uh,
Now it's all VTubers. So it's like, oh great, now I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a VTuber and pimp that one out.
huh. Well, we clearly you clearly need to be the first Cthulhu VTuber.
Threshold, take us to the threshold. Indeed, my child. The threshold is upon us. And
But in other
yes, Phil, you did jump in at the wrong time, but a very amusing time.
we have now got apparently Phil Scarfy wants to start an entire thing of ethos. Apparently, like he basically wants to become a pimp, and we now have established this as Exalted Stream canon that we have Scarfy the pimp. You
Hey,
fucker.
pimp scarf can still work. And besides, there's no nudity on Twitch. Well, no intentional nudity on Twitch.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Tell that to. Actually, tell that to Grand Theft Auto and some actually M-rated games because unless you're like a deliberate hentai game, they actually allow nudity in some games. It's kind of weird. It's a double standard, guys. If you're Japanese, fuck you. If you're not, well, you're Western and clean. That's been the thing that's been going on for the last couple of years. But to be fair, right now Twitch is kind of burning as a platform to an extent with music rights issues.
Good God. Isn't like there are also like content claiming video game sound effects too.
There's possibility, but right now I'll tell you this: if this goes on, Twitch might be a platform that might not be the best in a while. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah. Speaking of
Like,
questionable business practices, can we move on to the other big topic?
well, sure. What's the next big topic?
Capcom's been hacked, ladies and gentlemen.
Capcom's been hacked once again.
Yeah,
And
by
now
some kind
we
of
know.
ransomware, and that ransomware, and they apparently didn't pay off the ransom, so now all the information that was hacked got leaked out.
Well, we know about Resident Evil 4 remake, so that was kind of one of those things that was an open secret at this point. But you know,
Which
uh,
raises the questions like, why?
well, Resident Evil 3 remake and 2 remake were big games. So
Yeah,
what's
but
next?
that doesn't mean you're gonna do well with Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was already perfect. You could only go down from there.
Dude, they're going to try.
Oh my
Look,
god.
honestly, what disappoints me is we're not getting another fucking Mega Man game, and I'm kind of sad about that. You had one job, Leak. One job. Tell me about a new Mega Man.
Oh yeah.
But we're getting a new Monster Hunter project. We're getting a new Street Fighter 6. Which,
Wait a minute, one streamer did her own sound effects in Skyrim?
yeah, basically. I remember that little thing, but I forget the details.
I'll have to look that one up. That sounds interesting. But yeah, Capcom got hacked, and there's a few various leaks, and
Right, right now,
and some of them involve, yeah, like you said, there's got to be like Resident Evil remake. There's also Resident Evil Village.
yeah,
That
that we knew. That we knew.
Yeah, I mean, this is why leaks are so much fun. It's like Christmas for all of us. We get announcements it's like getting an early announcement for some of
All
us.
right, so here's the schedule leak as we know it, okay? All right. So, Street Fighter 6 Q3 2022 it looks like. Dragon's Dogma 2. Resident Evil 4 remake. Resident Evil Hank is what's called. Resident Evil Outbreak, Monster Hunter 6, Biohazard and Biohazard Apocalypse. I have no idea what that would be, but it sounds like possibly like a Resident Evil 9, maybe.
Isn't Resident Evil already an apocalypse?
Look, man, we can go beyond this. Another Monster Hunter and something called Shield.
Actually, what I think it is that I've heard that this might be Resident Evil Apocalypse. What they're going to do is a battle royale game for the Resident Evil games. I think that's what Apocalypse might be.
Okay, fine. Whatever. It's a Resident Evil spin-off that may or may not do well.
Because why let a good trend go to waste when it's already
Dude,
been overdone to death?
look, at this point, what genre? Look, I think the only genre Resident Evil has done yet is JRPG, and I could be
Re-
wrong about that.
Resident Evil Gaiden. At
Wait,
least
was that
I
was that
I
like?
I think it's an RPG. I think it is. I haven't really. It's one of the. It's the Resident Evil that was on the Game Boy. I think.
All right, I'm gonna look that up. I have to know if it is. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's see. It should tell me. Okay,
Sweet
it's an
Home is not
action.
Resident Evil, Phil. It precedes Resident Evil.
Okay, it's an action adventure game. Wait a minute. Hold it. I'm checking this right now. I'm gonna look this up. I'm going to YouTube to figure what the fuck this game is. Or actually, you know what? Go to TV tropes. They'll often list like genres. Okay. Resident Evil Gaiden. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it's sad. I happen to know a lot of a weird menagerie of obscure survival horror games.
Okay. So it's not a JRPG. It's kind of a bit like that, but not a full. It's not an RPG. So it's kind of like a weird. It's a weird thing, but it's definitely not like a. It's mostly the combat. So basically, it's like this. It switches to a first-person mode where
Yeah.
you have to aim the gun reticle.
Oh yeah. All right. So it's really like that. 'Cause, yeah, I saw screenshots of it. And it looked a bit RPG-ish.
According to this, it doesn't look like it is. So
All right.
I mean, Sweet Home. I mean, Sweet Home is a JRPG.
On some
One
level, but it
mostly.
precedes Resident Evil.
Well, it's on the inspirations. Actually, have you ever seen the Sweet Home movie?
Yes, I did.
Wow, wow, fun stuff. Actually, I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Fucking good time. Uh, Everyone should see that movie at least once. Um, there's a great little cult. You can get it from the Criterion Collection. I think it's still available very easily. You know, it's the Criterion Collection, so a little expensive, but hey, it's a great little movie. Oh fuck! That reminds me. When I have money, I gotta get glass. I gotta get Police Story from the Criterion. I gotta get Police Story from the Criterion Collection.
Although I think they dumbed down the story a bit in the movie. I mean, it's not exact.
No, the game is the game is actually an adaptation. The game is actually an adaptation of the movie. So
Oh, it is.
you could actually, yeah, no, Sweet Home was actually Sweet Home was this odd production actually, if you know the history about it. But basically, the guy making it never made a movie before. He worked in advertising.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
so
And
that's a jump, like Ernest
yeah,
all over again.
yeah, it's one of those things of it. Yes, the reason people know about it mostly nowadays is because of the actual. Wait a minute, am I thinking of? No, I'm thinking of Hausu, not Sweet Home.
Oh, all right,
Sorry,
entirely different thing.
entirely different thing.
But yeah, Resident Evil. So far, there is technically not a Resident Evil RPG, not unless you count Sweet Home, which I kind of don't. They don't. I don't think they're in the same. Not even in the same universe because there are no ghosts in Resident Evil.
They were inspired. They were definitely inspired by elements, but then again, like
Yeah, they were inspired by it. House
but
of
then again,
Residing Evil.
what was that? What's the first like 3D survival horror? Are You Afraid of Dark or Alone in Dark?
Alone in the Dark. That was like one of the first ones, and they took elements of Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah, that's true. So
And beyond that, I don't remember too much more. I mean, there are a
well,
lot of PC games that had some survival horror elements that were almost close, but they were actually more like point and click adventure games. well, third-person adventure games.
Hmm.
I mean, the Clock Tower series was is considered a survival horror game, but it controls like a point-and-click third-person adventure game.
Yeah, Clock Tower is one of the main inspirations. I know that. At the very least, we would not have Nemesis or uh, Mr. Z. What's the guy in Resident
Mr.
Evil 2?
X.
Mr. X. Thank you. We wouldn't have Mr. X or Z or Nemesis without
Clockwork.
Scissor Man.
Without Scissorman, yeah.
So that's a pretty important actual leap there. Um, but fascinating stuff, honestly.
Oh yeah, apparently the Resident Evil, like Battle Royale multiplayer Resident Evil game in development dubbed Project Highway and Village Online. So,
Okay,
alright.
we'll see how that goes. It's a battle royale game.
And there is also going to be a bunch of Ace Attorney games for the
Oh
PlayStation
no, I'm
4.
excited for that for one reason.
Yeah?
Uh, here's the thing: you don't understand about this. So we're going to get a release of the original games on Switch. Okay, that's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
But we're also getting translation of two games that never made it to the US.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, that are prequels taking place in the time of Sherlock Holmes,
Oh, wow.
where Sherlock Holmes is a main character.
Objection, good sir.
Yes. And apparently these are like some of the best these are actually some of the best Phoenix Wright games ever. So I'm actually looking forward to this release a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah. And hopefully those don't turn into Battle Royale games, because Kaiser's right, they are trash.
Well, yeah, most battle royales can suck my dick. Uh,
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, my point being is that, like, with this whole thing, is the Phoenix Wright series is going to get two of its most important games over here. So at the very least, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. They're also going on with Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. There's also a few other games with code names Project Guillotine, set to launch in February 2021 on the Nintendo Switch. And Project Reiwa? Okay, how do you pronounce that in Japanese?
Reiwa?
I guess it's Reiwa. Reiwa. That will launch in May 2021. One of these games is a multiplayer shooter called Shield. The game is set to launch in September 2021 on Windows PC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's like pretty much the gist of it for like all the releases. Also, there are a few video game source codes.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Oh
You
yeah, and I
know?
just remembered Capcom's kind of pulling a Naughty Dog here, so we may be at risk of this stream getting content claim because we just talked about the leaks.
Oh,
So
fuck.
yeah, that's the other thing I've heard of. I can't confirm it yet, but I've heard of it. Relax, Capcom. We're only reporting on this. Not like it's Hunter Biden's laptops or anything.
Well, it is Hunter Biden. It's a good time all around. Um,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
it's a whole thing. Jesus Christ.
Well, no. No. For the other stuff, the stuff that got everyone's attention. A few documentations on how they're gonna be changing things, how they're going to going to be changing things. Among the documentations include a presentation on political correctness and advertising materials. Oh dear. Something tells me they never got over that controversy from Resident Evil 5.
Well, honestly,
Yeah, and how to avoid drama and controversy.
well, let me actually talk about this for one thing, just because this actually has come up. You want to know, since you brought up Animal Crossing Battle Royale, I should probably talk about this for a second. So
All
there
right.
actually is a new controversy on Twitter going around.
Oh, really?
You can give your avatar hairstyles that belong to black people, and you can make them white. Uh, I don't know what to say other than it's dumb, it's stupid, and apparently this is what falls for controversy in Animal Crossing now.
In fact, didn't Animal Crossing set up a new terms of service in that you cannot use try to advertise politically?
Nintendo, I'm sure there's something like that. To be fair, like, why would you want to use Animal Crossing for politics? It's like, why do you care?
Pokemon Go to the polls.
Who cares about fucking Pokemon going to the polls? Pikachu doesn't have the right to vote.
Okay, Fall Guys Resident Evil Edition will be one where you're playing as a zombie chasing after a survivor.
Have
There
you
you
actually
go.
seen you need to see the Flash Gets Fall Guy video. I think you would like it. I'll show it to you some other time. But yeah, no, I am just
But yeah, political correctness in games is like, it's getting out of control. I mean, at this rate, it doesn't look like they're gonna be satisfied no matter how much you appease them. They're just gonna, and it's mainly because they're not looking to be satisfied. They're looking to be offended. They get their high off of being offended, so they're just gotta look for something else to be offended by. Capcom's making a wrong move in appeasing to these people. Just full on. It's going to be a never-ending spiral. And I know why they're doing this. It's because like they want to sell to the West, but the only information they're given about like what the West wants are information that is just stuff they're seeing on Twitter. So that's what they're gonna appeal to. Just gotta hear
well,
a whole bunch of other stuff. And
well, right now there's a bunch of other stuff too. We recently had there was a major controversy on Twitter, like weirdly enough, but I ended up talking about a bit about it today on my.
and you're
So
right, they don't play the fucking games.
yeah, nobody plays the fucking games, man. So anyway, Marvel released a new comic called Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices, and the idea is that it's promoting creators and characters who are Native American or Indigenous, right? You know,
Oh yeah.
which is fair. Anyway, nobody cares except for a
God
terribly
damn
drawn
it, Phil.
Captain Marvel.
Hold on. I gotta read this out loud. My work had to apologize for a stupid ad. It said, "Hosting dinner? Plan a super spread." Yeah, very poor phrasing. Someone get Archer up there. Phrasing.
Crazy. But anyway, the whole thing. Anyway, the comic is famous because you want to know what everyone's focusing on? A badly drawn white woman.
Oh dear.
So they made a bad drawing of Captain Marvel, and everybody's redrawing it now. It's kind of great on that level alone. Now, I'm a little ticked off on some level. I'm actually ticked off of the comic for another reason entirely, which is it stars Echo, who is a really great Daredevil character, and now apparently she's best friends with Captain Marvel, and I'm like, why does Carol take everything I love and make it worse?
Yeah.
I don't mind Carol that much, but I rather like if this was going to be a comic.
Yeah, they were inspired by it. House
But
of
then,
Residing Evil.
You know, I'd rather just be a comic about I'd rather just be like a comic about sorry, like I'm a little bit. I'd rather like it have star Daredevil or someone else or Spider-Man, street level, and it's like cosmic, and it's like you don't bring Echo on a cosmic story. She's like a downtown street level person who fights ninjas. You have her fight ninjas. No,
Ninjas!
well,
They,
you have.
they were abducted by ninjas! Ninjas!
Look, it's cool that you want to make your character seem important. I get it. And you want to know who else was writing it too? Who? All right, I'm gonna get you. All right, it's a celebrity. One of the guys is a celebrity, and I want you to try to guess.
Um, one of the
Remember,
character,
get it.
one of the characters is a celebrity, so
No. One of the creators is a celebrity, and I would just want you to guess who.
Brie Larson.
No, Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, all right.
Apparently, Taboo. This was like, I'm not just gonna play Vega. I'm now gonna work on comic books. Yes, he did play Vega in the Street Fighter Chun-Li movie. Look it up.
Oh boy.
I know. Apparently, Taboo was just like, I'm going to ruin a lot of things. I don't know. His comic was. He's also now writing for Marvel. He's doing a new Werewolf by Night of all things, which
Really?
I'm like, what? In this day, we have Taboo of the Black Eyed Peas writing Werewolf by Night? Okay, I guess that's what comic writers are for. Yeah, you have to. They can't just. They can't just be comic book writers. They have to be something. I don't know. I hate when they get celebrities or people who work outside of comics to start working in comics because they don't tend to have the experience, and they just kind of fuck it up. But it happens, so
Yeah. Uh, also, in the moving on with the leaks, they also go into the whole sexuality thing with the LGBTQ whatever letters they added on in the past few hours or so. And one slide features The Last of Us. Because. Unless they're showing The Last of Us Part 2 as an example of what not to do in games, I don't like the sound of that either.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, you know how it is. Everything's a dumpster fire. We'll just have to make it less of a dumpster fire, maybe. But it is what it is. I am just so
Yeah,
just to get to the
meanwhile,
last.
Nintendo's Princess Peach and Zelda were used as example of negative stereotypes of women because of the damsel in distress. For fuck's sake, did they hire on Sarkeesian for some reason?
Well, speaking of Sarkeesian,
Oh dear.
she did show back up recently. Okay, so she actually got ratioed on a tweet recently about boob armor.
Why am I not surprised?
You know what ratioed is? Just okay. I'll actually have to explain this. Ratio is when nobody likes your tweet and
Yeah.
everybody puts a comment to it. So basically, she was complaining about Mandalorian boob armor.
Oh yeah, that's another topic in and of itself.
Well, everybody made responses to it. And here's the thing: the armor is actually very flattering for the most part.
Yeah.
Like,
And
when I was like, well, okay, this has it's like the most minor bullshit. Like, it's not even like Red Sonja extreme, you know? Red Sonja doesn't exactly wear like the
Yeah, it's
most.
not bikini armor, guys.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's just armor that conforms to your chest. But you know, it's Anita. She's going to bitch, and I'm gonna hate her for existing. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I always just couldn't stand her stuff. And I tried to give her chances as like um on like a perspective level because look, I'm willing to hear people out on bullshit, and I'm willing to let them make their points. But if your point is dumb, I'm just gonna say you're fucking dumb. And Nia Sarkeesian has always been you're fucking dumb. But hey, you know, that is what it is. And what was that thing?
Oh, don't worry. I'm just like using a Discord stream so that you could see this at the same time as I'm gonna show it. But I think my opinion of Sarkeesian, it can be best summed up with this little clip from one of my older videos.
Ooh, let's look at this.
One way to think about damsel characters is via what's called the subject-object dichotomy. The pattern of presenting women as fundamentally weak, ineffective, or ultimately incapable has larger ramifications beyond the characters themselves. So, without further
Jesus,
ado,
that's
let's
actually
delve
really
right
good at
into
it,
the damsel in
man.
distress. In the simplest terms, subjects act, and objects are acted upon.
But honestly,
the subject is the protagonist.
Honestly, I always questioned her as a creator. She's always been grifty as fuck, and I'm willing to admit that. And you know, honestly, the
Well,
fact that
yeah, she knows her audience, and that's who she's going to cater to.
well, not even her audience bought it in this time. No one seemed to like that tweet. But you know, except for like maybe the Sarkeesian simps.
Yeah, they're everywhere. In fact, I think even Movie Bob kind of simped for Sarkeesian for a while.
Okay, I'm gonna actually. Okay, I actually
Didn't he
have
actually
a
take a
name.
picture along with Sarkeesian, or was that
That was Nostalgia Chick.
But did he
Which
take a picture
we
with?
all know how that went.
But did he take a picture with Sarkeesian too, or
I don't know.
was that some other
Uh,
like fat guy YouTuber?
So I actually have. So I actually have a. So I actually now have a name for fans of Sarkeesian.
Yeah.
Simkeesians.
The Chimp Simkeesians.
Yes, the Simkeesians. We will now. That's the official term for anybody who stands for Sarkeesian. The Simkeesians. Any of them.
As they are transgenetic non-human primates.
Yes. Essentially. But no, the whole movie Bob thing was that was a Lindsay Ellis thing where he basically was like, "Yeah, I'm friends with Lindsay Ellis," and then Lindsay Ellis was like, "No, I'm not. We're not friends. He's evil, evil." And then she ran into the night screaming like a banshee.
Yeah, I think up until that point, Movie Bob was able to convince himself that he could do no wrong, and everything bad that's been happening was somebody else's fault. But this might be the one moment where he has no one else to blame but himself.
All right, I'm gonna check to see if he. Okay, so
That's
he has unlocked his account. I'm looking at his recent tweet. Philosophy 2, fuck you. Just retweets right now. Retweet, retweet, retweet. Okay, I found an actual opinion. I feel like this genre would have other US audiences open up to it if the advertising would emphasize how many scenes, plot, entire films are about. Please do not spill, tip over, damage the delicate ancient pieces. What? Huh.
What if those ancient pieces were Confederate?
I don't know.
Would he still think that way?
Um. Oh, I get it. Fuck him. Jesus Christ. Movie Bob, stop it. You're not a politic. Oh, I found the Mario thing. Okay. Mario, his biggest fan.
Oh, by the way, avoid ever streaming Nintendo games because they have shown that they still have a bad habit of content claiming Nintendo games for some
Yes.
reason.
Yeah, nope. They'll keep doing that till forever, man. But anyway, my whole thing boils down to fuck Movie Bob. At this point, he has been proving to be a side. Actually, I had an entire thing. One of my tweets actually got very popular. Was one where I was watching a Quentin review video.
Oh, fuck that guy too.
I know, right? Fuck so many people. Fuck Jack Saint the most. He can go get a dick up his ass for all I care.
This has turned into a very edgy stream, by the way.
Yeah, no. I had entire look, I made fun of him for using Garfield. He decided to come after me by look, I just said that he probably shouldn't try to meme a video when talking about important political topics he cares about. Because it makes him look like an idiot. And I stand by that. He tried to be like, oh, I'm doing this video on how cops manipulate the media, and I put Garfield in it. I'm like, and I'm not going to respect your opinion here, dude. You're using Garfield, a meme, to try and talk about this serious issue. You're kind of separating out the topic. So that was my entire point, is that use Garfield. Him, like, why the fuck do I care? It's Garfield. Jokes aside, that was all it was. Then his fandom flew down my asshole about it, and I had to basically be like, fuck you all? And they were like, take an L, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to take an L on this one. He used Garfield. What do you want from me? The guy's an asshole. Jokes aside,
Heal before your orange kitten god.
My whole point was that I wasn't even that serious. I made a joke, and people were saying worse shit about him. Terrible videos, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know. But anyway, Quentin made a video about fucking CN Real, okay? Which isn't necessarily bad. It was an okay video until near the end, where he said the dumbest shit about it that made me go, what the fuck, man? And he said basically this: the reason Cartoon Network stopped showing live action was Steven Universe. And here's the thing. Now, I'm not going to talk about the quality of Steven Universe. We're not going to talk about that. What I am going to talk about is actually how popular it is. And the truth of it, not very. Steven Universe is big among animation. Phil means the L means lose. Basically, like you get in an argument, taking the L means you lose. Loss. Yeah. That's it. It's not a huge deal. I stood my ground, and I basically said, honestly, the worst thing I got called on that whole thing was kind of funny and dumb. You want to know what they called me?
What?
Heterosexual nostalgia critic.
I didn't even know Nostalgia Critic was gay.
Who's gonna tell his wife? Guy actually is married. So that was just the dumbest thing, and I'm like, the person then tried to say, I was like, you insulted me, and I'm like, no, you're only viewing it as an insult. Heterosexual is not an insult. I was like, you're using it to make fun of me. That's pretty much a fucking insult.
It's not an insult, but it was intended as one. And not only that, technically, he took the loss because he backpedaled.
I know, right? And I
Holy-
pretty much just said this to the person. Look, I'm sure you've been called worse. And, the person backed off and I never had to hear from them again. I
Yeah,
can't even,
that's the thing about these
like,
mobs. They seem scary up until you actually fight them.
I got most of them asking to take the L, and it's like, no, and they were like, man, most of these guys were also like 15 like followers at best. And I was like, and they were like trying to go, nobody reads your shit. And I'm like, fuck you, I got 800 followers who read my shit. I get more interaction from like posting about Spider-Man than I do interacting with you. Like, seriously. I get more, like, in all seriousness, like, I'm not saying like I'm some big guy on Twitter. I'm definitely not. I'm small fry. But but I have my audience who like listening to my tweets. I often post about comic book shit. I like doing that shit. But I'm not going to basically sit down and be like, yo, um, I'm going to let you do shit. And honestly, I actually got some followers from that whole thing where they were basically like, oh, you're saying fuck Jack Saint. Tell me more. But the Quentin thing basically boils down to Steven Universe is not a popular show at all. It's to say that it actually had an effect on Cartoon Network. What it did have an effect on Cartoon Network has often been negative because it led to what I like to call the bomb format. And the bomb format is a really bad format for shows. Basically, they have a bunch of finished shows, but they don't air them at all, usually. They air them in chunks over the year. So basically, an entire show will just be off the channel for a long time, and then you'll have like a week of it just showing up. And it's not like good. You have all the episodes done. Just fucking show them in a nice manner. But, it's Cartoon Network. And the thing is that live action started to go off the air once Adventure Time took off. And you can honestly say that Adventure Time is what made the current version of Cartoon Network. Most shows have the format. Most shows do what it does. Because here's the thing. Most shows now are board created, focused, 12-minute shorts. And most cartoons are doing that now. If anything, Adventure Time is the one that did it. So, yeah. Because a lot of Cartoon Network shows were initially half-hour blocks. Now they're like 15-minute blocks at best. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So it was just this whole thing, and I know he basically was just like, I want to promote my favorite show, but I'm like, dude, look, I love Spider-Man, but I'm gonna say what started the Silver Age of Comics was. I'm not gonna say the Silver Age of Comics was started by Spider-Man. The Silver Age of Comics was either started by the Silver Age Flash or Fantastic Four #1. Those were the comics that really started it. So, and honestly, I often argue for Fantastic Four #1 on the simple reason that it was the book that made Marvel and really started the trends that became prominent during that age. So, fuck Quentin and fuck his opinions, man.
Yeah.
So, but that's Quentin, that's Movie Bob, and those guys are special. Special, special boys. But, this has been a fun stream. We're an
Oh,
hour in.
oh yeah. Just let me finish up here. It's like I'm still looking for that like one part where it goes on about how it's like characters have to be like dressed progressively. It's like no male gazy kind of costumes unless or it's like no sexually stimulating material on female characters unless there's an in-story reason for it. At which point I've realized Kojima is going to overtake Capcom on this. Think about it. If there's one guy who could always come up with an in-story excuse for this kind of shit, it's Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Capcom, there's a way around this. Just hire Kojima.
Honestly,
There you go. He will come
I
up with all your excuses for your sexy female characters.
honestly, I don't think Sony is going to last. Look, here's what I imagine will happen. Sony will get desperate and like they'll just do it because here's the thing. The PS5 is not on to a stellar start for one reason. You want to know what was the biggest selling console in November?
What?
I just want you to guess.
It better not be the Atari VCS.
Well, it was the Nintendo Switch, so
Yeah. Oh, the one that's already been out for a good long while? That
yeah,
practically everyone already has? And it's
yes,
still selling?
yes. I'm probably going to get one soon. So I'm probably going to get it before PS5, honestly. Look, it has. Look, man, they confirmed the new Ace Attorney games. I have to be
Exactly.
on that. I. Yeah, basically. Sorry, Phil, it wasn't the Game and Watch, but I do appreciate it, and I do
Actually,
appreciate.
you know, I would like to see another Game & Watch at this point. Not because it would be good, but because we actually have pretty good watch technology right now with the smartwatches.
Um, actually, believe it or not, Nintendo has released a couple anniversary Game and Watch editions that play pretty well for what they are. So if you can actually find them, like they're a bit of a collector's item because look, if you make a Nintendo thing, it's gonna be a collector. Honestly,
Granted,
um,
granted, a game on a smartwatch will probably just play only like a cell phone game. So you only have
well,
like simple games on there.
well, let me actually talk about this. Well, since we're talking about these news items, and let's have this be the last thing I talk about tonight. Okay, cool.
All right.
Um, so this game was actually found. Now, if we're speaking of Nintendo esoterica, this is actually pretty interesting. So back around 2010, I want to say, uh, Nintendo Japan decided to team up with McDonald's to make a Nintendo DS game and Nintendo DS that would train workers.
Really?
Yes. Now, this is only available to McDonald's employees and store managers.
All right.
But basically, this is the rarest Nintendo DS game of all time. But it's a Nintendo DS game that is meant to train you to be a McDonald's employee.
I mean, holy crap. I mean, I suppose it makes sense. I mean, we've used video games to train military personnel.
Yeah, anyway. But again, this game is extremely rare, and nobody exactly, like, how sometimes companies sometimes make these products, and sometimes they just get rid of them or put them in a vault or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they just end up in the hands of some other people or they get lost in the cupboard. Forever! Whatever, right? Anyway, what happened is that one, I believe a YouTuber, I'll actually look this up, so give me 1 second, because I
Actually,
just
I'll
saw the
probably put
video.
this away now because it's like, I don't know if Nintendo's gonna throw a bitch fit and copyright over. Now you're playing with Power GIF.
Hey, that's fair, that's fair, that's fair. Let's just check this here. Oh, Nick Robinson. So Nick Robinson actually looked it up, and he actually bought the game for $3,000, and now you can actually play the game online.
Really? All right.
Yeah. You can go to archive.org and actually download and play the McDonald's training simulator made for 2010. Well,
And no, Mein Kaiser, they are problem-solving simulators. It's just that some problems are solved by murder. Okay, a lot of problems are solved by murder.
Look, murder is the solution to everything. No, it's I should not say that on stream. Murder is a solution. I'm going to stop now before somebody takes.
Of course, it could be more dangerous than a gun because I could use a video game controller to control a drone strike.
Anyway, I'll tell you this: the next time we do a stream, I might do this instead because I'll just sum up. You want to know what came out this week? You want to know what came out? You want to know what came out?
What we get?
We have the Animaniacs reboot.
Oh shit! That's right.
It's time for Animaniacs.
Of all the things to come back from the dead,
It's current day attacks. So sit back and relax. Oh God.
yeah, jeez. You know what?
Yeah, no.
Hey, Doug Canepo, when are we gonna get Earthworm Jim the show back?
He did not like. Honestly, he did not like Earthworm Jim's show. After I heard what happened.
Oh.
Well, let me explain. I actually do like the show, but he had problems with how they characterized some of the characters. To be fair, for one thing, he didn't like the fact that Earthworm Jim was a dumbass in the show. Because it's like,
Well,
because
he's slapstick comedy. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like
I know.
he wasn't slapstick comedy in the games, and I always kind of I
Well-
always kind of thought of him as kind of a goofy goofball in the games too.
Well, here's the thing. He was ticked off by the fact that it was often the puppy sidekick who solved things. So it was like, why have Earthworm Jim then? You know? So,
Yeah, all right. I could see the issue with that.
yeah, no, there's actually good. Honestly, I think it would be interesting to see what a remake of that would be like by him nowadays, but it is what it is. Guy is also kind of busy with making a bunch of graphic novels for Scholastic, last time I checked. So, hey. Good for him.
Yeah.
But
how about just another Earthworm Jim game?
he's working on that or something. He made a new comic, actually.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I heard about him making new comics. That's pretty good. He also made Bigfoot Bill.
Yeah. But anyway, we probably should get going.
Yeah,
but-
we haven't been this long in a while.
I've been kind of cutting it short because I've been kind of stressed for time recently, but I've been relaxed recently. So, hey, you know.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good talking to you all. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you for joining us. This has been Exalted Scarf stream number 13, and if you ever see ads by the end of it, we didn't put them there.
Well, if you want to follow my Exalted, if you want to actually follow like stuff from me, check out my Twitter at Exalted Speed. If you want to like hear like commentary on comics and shit from me on that one. We stream every Saturday. We stream every Saturday around 8 through 10.
Or actually around like 9 through 10. But if you can come around earlier, if you want to come around earlier on 8, I mean, I could schedule the stream for that.
Yeah, that's usually 9. 9's better, honestly.
Yeah, usually around 9, from 9 to 10.
So, have a good one, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Scarfy signing off.
Right.